Hello everybody, John Osborne here with the Basecamp Trading End of Day Update. I'm substituting for Thomas and Dave while they're on travel today or away from their regular desks. And we had an interesting day today where we had about 11:08. There was some news that came out relating to Flynn testimony, and it dropped the markets pretty much across the board. That combined with also the Opec news from yesterday, as well as the tax reform vote that was planned around that same time, created quite a stir in the markets today. Now we've recovered a lot of that, but still it kind of puts a lot of stretches in our markets, and it's tough to find a lot of entries. So we'll walk through walk through our markets to see what we find. Just for the news on Monday, it's going to be pretty light. We have factory orders at 10 a.m. So let's start out by looking at crude. So crude is had a really good up day, and it ended up giving back quite a bit of that. Right now I'll tell you, it's at 140 that I'm making this recording because I didn't get out of here myself on my way to Dallas. But you can see that we did go up and try to get up towards the previous swing high, and we pulled back quite a bit. So right now we're just above yesterday's high. So this is again on news that OPEC is going to continue to provide production cutbacks through 2018. That was the decision out of the meeting from yesterday. So we expect to see our oil-based products or energy-based products continue to move higher in supply and demand. So for our bob, we're seeing a little bit of a head and, or not a head and shoulders pattern, but a micro downtrend. So if we can break above this previous swing high here at 1.7846, we could see if that could go a little bit higher. Well, we did break over on the 30-minute, but we've come right back down to it so far. And we just want to wait for that longer term daily to break. Heating oil, yesterday we pointed out, we came down and pretty much touched this trend line here to the tick, and we weren't sure if it was going to break through or to move up. Well, obviously it moved up, and we moved up as high as almost as high as the previous 3 or 4 days worth of pivots. So we'll be watching this one to see if it will resume moving higher. Interestingly, we are still showing a little bit of bearishness on our daily, so be careful with that one. For gold made quite a distance move today, but we still haven't broken below this 1274.2 support. Yesterday we broke through it. This will give us a bear flag if it closes without going lower than yesterday, and that'll give us an opportunity for a potential short if that were to happen. If we do take that short, we want to watch this trend line here and be wary not to forget about that. That's at 1270.2 that it could break through there. And then of course if it does get through there, then we have to watch for this low here of 1267.3. Okay, but it is looking bearish on our 4-hour and a little bit on the bearish side on our daily. But look at this nice strong move that we had so far today. It's still up in the air where it's going to end today. And soy also had a pretty decent move here. We're going to watch this trend line across the top here. And you can see we're bullish after breaking through the 240 pennant that we have. And we're going to be watching for to see if it can move up towards this trend line that we have here, a micro downtrend line effectively, at about 1003 or so. So watch for that break. For bonds had a really nice ride again today. It's still somewhere in the middle of its range, but you can see multi-point run here, and right now it's right on this trend line that we drew. So yesterday we were looking about closing on the 50-bar moving average. It's about where we opened today, and we've gone up above highs from many weeks here, going all the way back to the end of September as far as beating price. But then we pulled back down to that line, and we'll see where we end up for today. But now at 140 in the afternoon, that's about where we are. For the Dow, yesterday we had new highs put in, a really good day in the Dow, and then today was quite a big pullback. So we'll see what happens. It almost pulled back the whole length of the gains, but we've recovered most of it, and we'll see what happens. These are going to be a little tricky to figure out what to do with. So we need to wait for the close for today and look at what happens as prices move towards the close. Same with the S&P. Okay, a big pullback further than yesterday's low. And the NASDAQ, which wasn't seeing the same gains as the S&P and the Dow, also had a pullback, but all of them have recovered most of what they dropped at the 11:08 news. The euro was also another mover both up and down. So we're watching it as it's running along this trend line here, and we are still moving up higher on a triggered bull flag. Looking at a few of the equities, we have Apple. So Apple's in this descending triangle here, or descending wedge, and you can see we broke through that a couple of days ago and then came up and put in a higher low, which gives us an opportunity for a bear flag. So if we can get below the low from yesterday, which is 168.44, we could still trigger this bear flag. And the low for today is still going to be about that at 168.50. If this bar is going to close up higher, we're still going to have that bear flag in effect, assuming our histograms are still in with us, and that'll give us an opportunity for a potential low and a move lower. So for Google, it took one of the biggest hits on the news that we had today. So you can see we dropped all the way down to 50-bar moving average here and haven't recovered as much as the other ones. In fact, we're moving down a little bit as we speak here. So we're looking for Google to stay a little bit more bearish. If you look on our 240 and our 120, we are looking bearish. We are getting a VSI dot on the 120, but we are coming down off a triggered bear flag here. Okay, it was unannounced, but it is still a bear flag and a valid bear flag. So watch for Google to potentially head lower. And Amazon also set up a bear flag opportunity here on its daily, so we could watch for that one to head lower. We're certainly looking bearish on our momentum, even though we've got some sideways movement here. Could draw a trend line across these lows here and see if we can use that for a break point, and that would be around 1146 or so. But let's keep an eye on it. We do also have a 30-minute we can watch, but again, that could happen before the close for today. And then Facebook, it already broke through its support line, came up yesterday and tried to move above it, but ended up closing right at it. And then we gapped down at the open, and we've made efforts to move back up to that trend line, but couldn't get above it. So it's been pretty much a down day, and it is a bear flag that's triggered. So we would expect for Facebook to head down from here. Okay, and that'll do it for today. I hope you, of those of you who are in Dallas, hope you have a great meeting. I hope to see you there. And until next time, have a great rest of your day. Oh, and be careful of that pending news for this weekend. There's still those 3 big stories that I mentioned at the beginning that might still affect the news and our markets. Take care.